Hi, everybody. I'm Chicago psychic medium and intuitive consultant, Mel Dorr. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It's been a while since I posted anything. I'm happy to announce that I'm going to be a regular on Linda Grindel's YouTube channel, and she's going to come on mine sometimes. We're going to do Mondays, every other Monday, with Linda and Mel. So that's exciting. I've got my t-shirt on today, March for Our Lives Matter. This was March 24th, 2018, and it was right after Valentine's Day when the school shooting happened. So I want to talk today about violence a little bit. I took a little hiatus for about 3 weeks. I'll be 67 on March the 22nd this month. And thanks to my friends at Aesthetic Beauty Lounge in Highland Park, Illinois. So, I was really uptight about this turkey chin. So I had my face threaded. So they just kind of, it's not cutting, but they just put threads and pull up to tighten everything up. So I figured that would be my 67th birthday present to myself. So thanks to everybody at Aesthetic Beauty Lounge for the great work. Anyway, my face was a little swollen and bruised, so I just thought I'd take a little bit of time off. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I'm feeling great. I had my first COVID shot, and I'm due to get my second one. I'll keep you posted how that works. And so anyway, back to my shirt. There's a lot of violence going on, and I am so glad that Merrick Garland is now going to be our Attorney General. And I'm sure that he is going to go full force, at least my guides tell me, with prosecuting the insurrectionist that did such damage to our Capitol on January the 6th. I was very upset when Mitch McConnell wouldn't allow them to have the hearing for Merrick Garland because it was an election year. And during an election year, you shouldn't have a hearing for Supreme Court justice. Really, Mitch? Boom. Right? Really, Mitch? Boom. Oh my goodness. Yet, when it came to putting Amy Coney Barrett on the court after Ruth Bader Ginsburg died, it was like, well, that only matters because back then the Democrats had the House and the Senate, and I forget whatever he said. It was just some BS. No, I think it was like, well, we control both houses, so that's why we're going to do it during this election year. Where before, who knows what he said? It's just rhetoric. Anyway, but my guides tell me that Merrick Garland will do a better job as Attorney General. And I'm still wondering if at some point he might be on the court, but he's going to make a phenomenal Attorney General in bringing those to justice. I heard about this dude, Timothy Hale Cusinelli, who grew this Hitler mustache, and he was an Army reservist, and he worked for the Navy, and he was one of the insurrectionists, and he makes all these anti-Semitic remarks and anti-Black remarks and all the violence. And I am perceiving that he is going to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. When I hear about all these fascists and neo-Nazis, my father fought in World War II. My mother's brothers fought in World War II. My father's brother fought in World War II to stop the threat of Nazi tyranny. And I find it horrific that in this country today, that we have people who give these white supremacist group a wink and a nod, like Donald Trump, or a lot of the Republican politicians that wouldn't go against Trump. Or politicians like Cruz or Holly that promote this sort of thing only because they want to play to that racist base so they can keep their power, so that these senators can keep their power. You know, I believe in people's right to own firearms, but I don't think we need assault weapons. And I think with Merrick Garland and Joe Biden at the helm, Garland being Attorney General, um, I think they're really going to try to enact legislations to stop some of this gun violence. It's frightening when we can't send our children to school. It's frightening when we are afraid to go to movies. It's frightening when we're afraid to go out for fear of being shot. You know, now that COVID is starting to go away, people are going to be getting out more. And so I do think that Biden's going to bring in a lot of gun legislation, gun control legislation, which I think is highly needed. Boy, there's been some great stuff happening though. The relief package went through, yes. First Native American to serve in a presidential cabinet, yes. I think Biden did more in the first 60 days of office than Trump did in his whole 4 years. People are asking me, will the Democrats continue to hold the House and the Senate after the midterms? And I ask my guides, and they say yes, but they show almost like pulling a rope, and it just gets very difficult to pull and harder and harder. And at the other end of that rope are people who are trying to suppress voters' rights in Republican-controlled states. And I asked my guides if they will be successful, and my guide said, no, they will not be. Because what will happen is more people will come out to vote. More people will come out to vote. So we'll see an end to voter apathy, hopefully. But even though they might pass some laws to try to suppress voting rights, it won't work because people will still turn out in droves to vote. They cannot silence our voices, our voting voices. It's our right. And I think we have to open our throat chakras and speak up against it. We're taking our power back, but we really have to be diligent. My guides have told me we really have to be diligent in order to keep these fascists, these ultra right-wing, I want to overthrow the government people from winning. You know, our democracy is very fragile. It survived, but it's still very fragile. My guides tell me they won't win, but we still have to open up, speak up, and keep pulling. So let's all get vocal. Let's all talk about the injustices. Let's all make sure that the Dems continue to control the House and the Senate. I heard about Cyrus Vance saying he's not going to run for, I think, his district attorney in New York. So that brought up a question to me, and I asked my guides, what would happen like if he's not going to do this with the stuff they're looking at with Trump? Well, the person coming in after him continued the investigation, and the answer came back resoundingly yes. My guides told me that Trump will be indicted. That'll be another first. He was the president of a lot of negative first, but that he will be indicted in the state of New York, also in Georgia, and also some federal charges will be placed against him as well. So people are saying he might run again in 2024. What's that about? I asked my guides and they say absolutely not. he'll never be president again. So thank goodness for that. And I also asked my guides if somebody worse than Trump, of course, I don't see who could be much worse than Trump, would be elected in 2024 or be nominated on the Republican side. And they show me like a cartoon with this cast of characters, and so their nominee would be somebody that I think would be more palatable. But I'm told that we'll still continue to hold the power. But anyway, Cyrus Vance. So who'll come in? The person coming in, I think, after Cyrus Vance, here again, will not drop this investigation. We'll continue it. So there we go. I think one of the darkest days I can remember was the time from when our election happened and until Biden was inaugurated. Look at just those days where Trump called the person in Georgia to try to rig the election to get more votes for Trump. He called on insurgents to overthrow the election, to storm the Capitol. You know, when he didn't win, he created this huge conspiracy theory that, you know, the election was rigged. And, you know, he still stays in the news. But I don't want him to overshadow all the wonderful things that Biden has done. A couple of them that I think are great is that he overturned the ban on transgender people in the military. He, you know, he's appointed people of minority, like Pete Buttigieg, who's gay, and I can't think of the Native American woman's name, but that he put it in his cabinet. Just so many things during his first days of presidency that he's done to help people. And this whole vaccination deal, boy, it's really starting to get organized. And so my guides say that Biden will meet his goal of having us all vaccinated. You know, by the way, a lot of people were afraid of the vaccine. I took it. I feel it's safe. You get to do what you want to do. But my guides tell me that the vaccine is harmless. Some people with the Moderna vaccine, after they get the second one, they get sick for a day, they get chills, fever. That just means the body's producing antibodies. So I think we need to be diligent to make sure that we don't have, you know, more outbreaks like this. And we need to really start minding the planet. I'm glad we're back in the Paris Peace Accords. That was another good thing, to watch out for climate change. I see the economy picking up in the second half of this year. I see more jobs. My guides are telling me more jobs coming. The travel will open up the second half of 2021 going into 2022. And I'm really happy to announce that I started my psychic adventure tours again. 3 of my trips got canceled due to COVID, but in July of 2022, I've got a yacht tour going up the Croatian coast. So if anybody hasn't watched Game of Thrones, watch Game of Thrones, because part of that was filmed in Croatia, Split and Dubrovnik. It's going to be a great trip. If anybody's interested, at the bottom, I'll give information. So I'm just really excited that, and I'm thinking about, I had a safari going for July of this year, 2021, but I canceled it because I didn't think everybody would be vaccinated. And since there's a COVID strain coming out of Africa, I just don't want to take the chance. But in 2022, I'm thinking of doing another safari again. So that'll be fun as well. I'll keep you posted. Come and join me. We have a blast. We did a tour in 2019, and we went to Romania, Bulgaria, Serbia, Croatia, and Budapest, Hungary. It was a riverboat tour. And the crew of the river ship said they can't remember having that much fun with a small group. Our group it was just, wow. Every night we had a ball. So join us. Anyway, I'm excited about that. I'm excited about a lot. I'm excited to be 67. That's exciting. So much stuff. Thank you for all of you for your support and for your readings. I've been a little remiss on answering emails, but I will get to them, I promise you. And so here again, when we get to 10,000 subscribers, I haven't looked at my subscription rate yet, but if I'm there, 3 free readings again. So that's exciting as well. People ask me, will people like Trump and Flynn and all of those people and Bannon, will they be brought to justice even though Bannon and Flynn were pardoned? And the answer is yes, they will. Being in Aries, when God was handing out patience, I stood in the attitude line. I'm not patient. Maybe I'll learn it in this life. I don't know. Next life, I want to come back as a dog in my house. Anyway, I'm not patient. And it's hard to keep seeing and looking at like if Trump's going to never be held accountable, like he's always going to get by with stuff, but it will catch up to him. I think the investigation in New York, and even with Merrick Garland that he'll be doing, they're slow, they're steady, and they're thorough. They just don't want to start bringing a bunch of charges that they know are not going to stick. They really have to have the evidence and the proof. So they're just not going to throw mud against the wall and see what sticks. They're going to have solid cases, and we'll get indictments, not only for Trump, but his children as well. And Moscow Mitch better watch out too, because he's going to have some problems. And so will Ted Cruz and Howley too. So Moscow Mitch, I don't think he's going to be in the Senate a long time. And his wife is not out of the woods either. Anyway, I just want to touch base and let you guys know that I'm here. And so I didn't forget about you. And I'll be posting more videos in the future. And I'm just so happy to be a regular on Linda's show and just to be able to do this and talk about things on YouTube. Anyway, I know I kind of rambled today. I went all over the place, but I want you all to stay well. And remember, until you get your shot, wear your masks. But this shall pass. This shall pass. Even though we have a bright light, in Washington, there's still the forces that want to extinguish that light. And, it's amazing to me that Donald Trump succeeded in having Republicans lose the House, the Senate, and the presidency, but yet many of those Republicans still haven't changed their tactics. It's like, the biggest pleasure I saw, yay, was when the American people told Donald Trump, "You're fired." He's still going to come up with conspiracy theories. QAnon is, God knows the newest conspiracy theory they'll come up with. We're being shot by ray guns from people with space. Okay. And if you believe that, I got some property in Florida I'll sell you in the Everglades. Anyway, my guides tell me that we're going to come back to common sense in this country. Our common sense, I don't know where it's gone, but at least 60% of us have some common sense. Let's hope the other 40% get some. But I do see more balance coming. So good. I do see a lot of peaceful protest, as rightfully we have the right to peaceful protest. And peaceful protests for social change, for the positive, for human rights, for better gun control laws, for giving everybody a decent living. And at some point, I do think that the minimum wage will be raised. I don't know if it'll be 15, but at least it might go up to 12. And so I don't know if the Democrats can use a nuclear option. I don't know if they have enough senators to do that. But I do see healthcare reform too. How about affordable drugs, affordable prescriptions? I have something called dry eye, and my eye doctor prescribed Restasis. And so when I went to get it filled at Walgreens, my insurance company denied because there was not some pre-authorization form or something, I don't know. So I said, well, how much would it cost me if I pay out of pocket? Grab this one for a little bottle, $3,000. I'm like, I don't think so. Ultimately, it has been approved through my insurance company, but still, I mean, it's kind of, it's unfortunate that there are people in this country who can't afford medication. There was, I think, Lisa asked me what medication that I take for my cholesterol. And I cannot take statin drugs. They don't work well for me at all. So there's a medication called Repatha. I think it's called evolocumab, and it's an injection I give myself every 2 weeks. If you're watching this, Lisa, here's your answer. And it cuts down cholesterol by 70% with monotherapy alone. And they did a study and they show that this Repatha also helps to prevent heart attack and stroke. It raises HDL, lowers LDL, and lowers triglycerides, but you have to do diet as well. So, Lisa, you also asked me if Medicare would pay. They do, but I think you have to have another copay because even the copay on it is expensive. But I'm still covered under private healthcare insurance. I'm not on Medicare yet. So the cost of mine is pretty much covered except for $5. So Lisa, I wish you the very best of luck in getting the medication. It's an amazing drug. It's a wonder drug. So I pray that you'll get it. One other thing before I sign off, my friend Marie, she and I trained our dogs together. Her dog is Vinny, my dog is Lucky. And Vinny and Lucky got their, oh, I'm having a senior moment. Their Canine Good Citizen Advanced together. And they also worked on Urban Dog, which Lucky has. And we did some scent work together. Well, anyway, it seems that Vinny has a tumor or a growth on his jaw, and it might have infiltrated into the nose. And they don't know if it's a cancerous tumor or if it could be a fungus. So everybody, please send prayers to Vinny. He's a beautiful golden retriever. He's 4.5. I think he's one of the sweetest dogs on the planet. Well, along with Lucky. And his wonderful owner and mama, Marie. Marie's a wonderful human being. She's a dear friend. So please send healing energy to Vinny and to Marie. Anyway, that's just about all I've got. I know I'm rambling. I'll put on the community board. So my next video, people, I want you to ask questions and I'll answer them. And I'll keep you abreast of current events as well and what my guides show me. But there's just been so much that's happened since we've last spoken, so much good stuff. And so I also want to focus on some really good things I see coming. I do see another stimulus package coming. I don't know. I'm probably thinking more at the end of the summer. And that'll help tremendously to make the economy grow. I see that Biden is going to put a lot of money into the infrastructure, like repairing roads and bridges and highways, railroad, effective mass transportation. So my feeling is, and my guides tell me, that Buttigieg will do an excellent job with that. So a lot of positive things coming. Anyway, everyone stay safe, stay well, And I'll be posting another video probably within 4 or 5 days. So, by the way, it's snowing here in Chicago. We had 67 degrees the other day, which is unheard of. And today we had snow. Anyway, old man Winter's just hanging on. But, you know, my guys show me that Biden is like a breath of spring for our country. So it was kind of a metaphor what happened today in Chicago, like all that stuff from Trump just falling down, but it'll be gone soon. And the days are getting longer. The light is winning out. All right. Stay safe and well. I wish you the best. Namaste.